Now the mirepoix, we've added the potatoes, and we're letting everything brown nicely. Now to our sauteing vegetables here, we're going to add a little bit of kosher salt. Don't worry about how much salt you put in right now. Just sort of get them nice and seasoned. We're going to have to adjust this as we go because we're going to be adding more liquid. Also adding a little pepper to the mix. Don't worry about how much you put in right now. Just sort of cover the top. We're going to adjust as we add the liquids. While our mirepoix is nicely sauteing and browning away, we're going to get these are 1 pound bags of mixed vegetables. It's just a combination of green beans and corn and carrot already chopped up. I'm using organic. Now we're going to add about 1.5 gallons of water to this, and that's going to start our vegetable broth stock. You are going to need 1 can of light kidney beans. Not the dark red, the light red kidney beans. You can use dark red, I prefer the light. Drain off most of the liquid from the kidney beans and put them in a bowl. Then get a potato masher or a spoon or fork, or you can put them in a food processor if you want, but we're going to mash these up. They don't have to be completely mashed, but you want them mostly mashed up. When you're finished mashing, your kidney beans will look something like this. Also, there were no lima beans in the mixed vegetables that I put in, and I like lima beans in this soup. I couldn't find any lima beans at the store, so I went ahead and added some white beans. I'm sorry, not white beans, butter beans. I just added a can of butter beans, but lima beans are really good in this soup. Add this mixture to the pot of vegetables and broth. Finally, you're going to need some tomato juice or vegetable juice. I usually use organic, but I couldn't find any organic vegetable juice. You can also use a spicy version of this if you want, but I'm just using a regular vegetable juice, like a V8. You're going to add at least 1 cup. Nona always used to use 1 cup in hers. I like mine a little more color and a little more flavor, so I'm going to use a couple of cups probably. So now's where you can get creative. You're going to use salt and pepper, and you're going to add it to your mix, to your soup. And you're going to taste as you go. Just add a little bit and taste, and add a little bit and taste, until you get it pretty much where you want it. Do not over salt it, because this is going to reduce as it cooks. If you get it too salty, when it reduces it'll be even more salty. Anyway, this is where you can get creative with what you add. I always put in a little bay leaf and some basil. I put in a tiny pinch of curry this time around. I don't always do that, but that's what I'm doing this time around. And I've got a little thyme here. But you could really play with this. You could add whatever you wanted. You could use maybe a pinch of tarragon or anything, but keep it sort of provincial. Use these nice green herbs and maybe just a pinch of something else like a curry. So I put 2 large bay leaves in, about 1.5 teaspoons of basil, about 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, and just a pinch of curry into this. And again, add salt and pepper till you get it just about where you want it to be in terms of saltiness. So this is our soup. It's simmering along nicely, and you're going to let this simmer really a couple of hours for these flavors to all come together. You can taste along the way and see how it's doing in terms of saltiness, or if maybe you want to add a little bit more herb to it. After about 2 or 3 hours of simmering, you can add either macaroni, or I like to use wild rice. It imparts a really nice flavor to it. Put the rice in about an hour before you're ready to serve it. Although ideally, you want to make this the day ahead of time so the flavors have a chance to blend overnight. And that is Italian vegetable soup.